we should be streaming right now. Whew. Man, what a week we got ahead of us. Hopefully a good one. So the first thing that I do, just when I'm starting to, kick off, obviously it's Monday morning, 1:40 Eastern Standard Time for me. So the first thing I'm going to head over to do is I'm going to head over to look at my calendar. So I want to see what news events we have. So we're going to go to here, and you can pull up your calendar on Carbon Capital or Forex Factor, whichever one works best for you and how you look at your news. It's good to go. So we've got news on Tuesday. We got news at 8:30 for CAD. We've got news at 10 a.m. for USD, and then we have at 9:30 p.m. odd. And then we jump to Wednesday. Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. we've got GBP, JPY, and USD. And then on Thursday we've got 3 a.m. Actually that's the orange folder for Euro. All day's Euro news. Basically all day we've got the German prelim. 8:30 a.m. we got USD, and that's our final GDP, which should move the market really good on Thursday. And then we head into Friday, and we have two red folders, USD and CAD, at 8:30 a.m. So basically every day this week is news except for tomorrow. And that's what's going to lead us into the charts and where we're at. So jump over here, take a look with me. This is the weekly markup that we did last week. Now obviously not much has changed. So if you go back and look at the video that we did ending the market on Friday here on Carbon Capital's live stream, you're going to notice that this was the markup we had. We'd rejected up here. This was that zone we needed to break. This is that daily candle. So that daily candle has pushed up, and we need this daily candle to push down here and give us that daily below this zone to continue pushing down. We looked at our weekly levels, and the weekly level was interesting because we had a weekly dot to dot here and here. And look what happened. It broke it, rejected that 34,500 that we were looking at, slammed back down, and now we're below that trend line. So, this weekly candle could push back up just a little bit, maybe 150, 200 pips, and then come back down and then close that daily below it, which is what we want because we want to break below the 33,446 on our weekly markup to continue to push down. So we look at the 4 hour. This was the 4 hour break that we've been looking for that we had happened last week. So we broke and came down, broke trend again, and this is looking beautiful. So this right here was TP1, this is TP2, this is TP3. Now price is heading up, but keep in mind we do have a gap. So when I talk about gaps, I'm going to show that to you. This was that whole number template, 34,250. So basically every 250 pips, we're drawing out our zones. Came down, crashed it, and you can see this is the new daily candle here, which is on that H4. We're plugging above it, but we need to close a 4 hour below here to continue that downward pattern. So when we look at this, let's go look at that 30 minute. And you're going to see what I'm talking about when I say gap. There's a gap right here. You see it more on the 1 minute. When we zoom out here, you're going to see it right there. So if we take and mark that gap up like this, we'll change the color of these. Since this is our gap, we'll turn them to red. Actually, I like black. Black's going to be easier on my eyes. All right, there we go. And we move forward, you can see where we're at. So to fill that gap right now is roughly about a 75 pip run. So if you were on my YouTube stream that I did earlier where I play my gap, so I love playing these gap plays, and I streamed earlier how I was going to take my positions, what I was looking at of this gap play. So I am in cells from here to close this gap. Now what's important is if we can close this gap down here, more than likely we get that 30-minute candle closure and push down. We do have a big 30-minute candle over here that gives us that swing low. You guys know I love my wick fills. So that wick fill is just like this, which is funny that we gapped right on the top of that wick fill. You can see it was perfect. All right, so what we're looking for now, put that gap right there, is anything that we break below this wick fill in here is going to consolidate more than likely because there's no news tomorrow. So that means we're, you could pull this number here, be like boom, and then, back up, and then come back down, tap the bottom of it, and just give us a ton of that type of movement. And then Tuesday we have news, and then that's where we'd be looking for that bigger push to play out of this box and start trending downward. Now, Andy, why are you looking for that downward momentum? Well, obviously anything can happen. We could push back up, but what I really like is when we look at this right here, throw on the Fibonacci and just show you what we have on this. We already said this candle over here needs a 50% retracement, and you can see 50% is right there at 33,500, and that candle came down and gave us that wick. But all these other candles that we have been this candle pushed up and the whole candle got chewed up. This candle up here, from here pushed up, all the candles. So we've been basically, every time we've had a big bullish, push up, bearish has cleared out the same candle again. And it's continually happening. When you just scroll and scroll and scroll, you're gonna notice it has happened forever. So this candle here has not been pushed all the way down. So to get below here and close a 30-minute candle would line up with all of our other templates to drive this thing down to that 33,250, which is what I'd like to see. So that's it on US 30. When we look at gold, we've got a massive gap in here in gold. I'll show you in a second. But I said that we needed to come down, hit this gray box. We could potentially, push up, or the market's going to open and push us up. And then if we broke this zone up here, we would push up further. And if we didn't, we could ultimately reject this zone as we did here at that wick fill area. But if you just go to that 5-minute, you're going to see there's a massive gap right here. So yes, I'm currently selling this gap just because I think it's a good sell, because gold typically will come down and close that gap. And I mean, look, that's a solid paycheck for a Monday if we can close that. So without a lot of news, that's what I'm looking for. Now, you guys know that on NAS, I'm looking for those sells. I did get in a little premature right there before the market closed. It looked good. I really wanted it to break down. It didn't. Look at the 1 minute there. We don't have any, big plays up here on the top end, but what we do have, like everything else, is this tiny little gap right here. So again, that's a quick little sell, get down and close that gap. Since I already have my sells down here at the bottom stacked, I'm not taking any more sells on NAS, but I am looking for it to be bearish for the remainder of the week, and I've got TP1 and then TP2 right there. And those TPs are 14,675 and 14,368. So that's it, guys. That's where we're at. That's what we're looking at. Those zones, go back here and rewatch it, mark these zones up and play accordingly. And then we'll be back on Tuesday to see what we got. And hopefully it's some winning trades. So y'all have a great start to the week. Everyone be safe out there with your accounts. Remember, do not over leverage, do not over trade, and just enjoy the ride. React to the markets and have some fun. But we'll see you on Tuesday. Any questions you got, you can reach out to me on Instagram at RealAndyPeters. I'll also throw that in the chat. Oh, it's here. It's at RealAndyPeters. And I'll answer any questions y'all have. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram it'll be at Carbon Capital FX. And that's it. Let's see. Thank you for the update. Finally got my notification working. Awesome Wisconsin fishing. I'm glad that you're here. And I got those updates working. I think there's a setting on YouTube that allows you to go in and select to be notified of live streams. And I think that'll help people tremendously. So fingers crossed it continues to work. But y'all have a great start of your week. Again, we'll be following up on Tuesday and see where we're at. And hopefully we get some good, movements in the market. It'll be Tuesday evening because we do have news that morning. Which, if we may do both. We may trade some of the news and see how that goes on here if you guys want me to, or give a news update later in the day. So we'll see how that works out.